One of the all-time most important characters in all of literature was Sherlock Holmes, created by Arthur Conan Doyle. His stories have been adapted into TV shows, radio, movies, books, and even graphic novels. The subject of today's video is going to be one of the most recent adaptations and what I think is one of the greatest adaptations of the Sherlock Holmes character and his stories. This is Inside the Mind of Sherlock Holmes, The Case of the Scandalous Ticket by Cyril Lieron and Benoit Dahan. I'm going to flip the camera around, put this under the microscope. Stay tuned and watch this video until the end. And we're back. My name is Taylor. This is Taylor Talks Comics. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And comment down below with any of your thoughts through the duration of this video. All those things help my channel succeed. Those things help the YouTube algorithm put my video and my channel in front of other comic books fans' eyeballs on YouTube that don't know my channel exists. And I appreciate that so much. So today I'm talking about The Inside the Mind of Sherlock Holmes by Cyril Lieron and Benoit Dahan. And it's The Case of the Scandalous Ticket. So this was originally released in two European albums. And then it was in French. It is a true bande dessinée. And then it was collected and translated in English for Titan Comics in this one hardcover. Now, I do want to give a shout out to the Omnidog's Vault, and the Comic Book Report with Dom over there. I think they both have done videos on this book, and they both have touted this book as one of their favorite reads of recent times. And I didn't even know it existed until they tipped me off for that. So shout out to those two guys. Great YouTube channels. Go check them out and subscribe if you haven't already. But this book is just immaculate. It's a modern masterpiece. It's beautiful. The storytelling, the artwork is mind-blowing. I cannot express that enough. This book should be talked about way more. I feel like this book should be in every department store, every bookstore. It should be in front of every library, it should be in the hands of as many people as possible. That's how mind-blowing this was. Now, I did get this from my library. I'd been wanting to read this, and it was happened to be in my personal public library, local library, and they had a copy, so I was stoked to grab one. But I did want to make a note, they have a torn piece of the cover here. That's not on the actual cover itself, that's just this copy. But I do want to show off the incredible book design here, too. Titan really went all out on this collection. And it does have a die-cut cover, so you can see through there. And as you open it up, we get to the inside the mind of Sherlock Holmes. And you'll see here on the opening title page, it has a quote in here from A Study in Scarlet, which is the Arthur Conan Doyle story of Sherlock Holmes. I consider that a man's brain originally is like an empty attic, and you have to stock it with such furniture as you choose. The skillful workman is very careful indeed as to what he takes into his brain attic. And that is a theme that fits throughout the entire story and artwork and everything. So here's the indicia and the dedications by the two creators. Cyril Lieron is the writer, Benoit Dahan is the writer-artist. Translator into English was Christopher Pope, and letterer was Lauren Bowes. But I want to zoom in a little bit too, because this artwork is so painstakingly detailed and amazing. So this is about 94 pages, I believe, 96 pages maybe. Yeah, I think it's 96. I think it was split up into two 48-page albums. But so it seems like it'd be a quick read, but it is dense, but not dense in a way that's going to bog you down and be boring or slow. Dense in the sense that you're going to spend so much time on each of these pages looking at every little detail and Easter egg and piece of ephemera that you could find throughout the story, and you're going to want to reread it to see things that you might have missed. This is truly a work of art, and pushing the limits of the graphic novel medium, the comic book medium, pushing it to its limits with new and innovative things as a way of storytelling and thing on the page. And that's what I love about comics. Comics can tell so many different stories in so many different ways, and I love to see when people still almost 100 plus years after the sequential art in the medium of comics has been around, over 100, almost 30 plus years, people are still finding innovative ways to do things. So right away, you get this character in here, comes in to meet with Dr. Watson, and Sherlock Holmes is instantly intrigued and sees a mystery. And he starts to look at all these clues, and so he's just admiring this guy, and he's pointing to all these clues that he's noticing, all these things. If you've read any Sherlock Holmes story, you know all the detailed ways that he looks at everything differently than anybody else. So he has inspired so many characters throughout the history of literature and comics and movies and TV. Everyone from like Batman to like shows like Murder, She Wrote and Monk and Columbo. Like everything has been inspired by Sherlock Holmes, and he has that about him. So all the things that he's noticing, they have a zoom in circular panel here, and you'll notice that there's this red thread connecting them all, and it goes all the way around, and this red thread connects all the way through this entire book. It never stops. All the way through, you'll see this thread coming around where he's literally tying the threads together. So it's not unlike like there's like a memes out there and things, but like the crazy like detective that has like all those pictures and things on the walls of the mystery, the threads connecting everything. It's not unlike that, but throughout the entirety of this book. And every page is just an absolute work of art. I can't imagine. I'd love to see more process work from Benoit Dahan. I did look through his Instagram, and it looks like he uses blue line pencil and the ink's on top. But I'd love to see how he like lays out these pages, maybe like some thumbnails or some roughs on how he plans all this out. If he does like a page at a time, or if he thumbs the whole story out and then goes through there. But even like every way that Sherlock Holmes is soaking in clues is done in an innovative way. Like this is him hearing collection of testimonies. So on the right page, he's hearing the testimony of this gentleman, and on the left page, he's learning the testimony of this lady right here. And I'm not going to stop on every page, but I'm just going to flip through and show you some of the more creative ways that I absolutely love this. I love the maps. This is a Victoria era England too, so all the architecture and everything is just so immaculate and beautiful. But you get like the maps too that he's walking through. They're trying to find different locations to solve this mystery. This is the reoccurring theme too I was talking about with his mind. This is Sherlock Holmes' head in his attic that we were talking about earlier, where he's kind of coasting through and finding things and setting clues and trying to think through things. So you can see like his eyes are right here, and that's the top of his head. And then here's like the bottom part of his head with his chin down here. And then here's one too, like where Watson has a theory, but Holmes is like, you're thinking about this wrong, and let's spin this upside down and then really think about this. Like just such innovative ways of the back and forth between Sherlock Holmes and Watson, and the way this is told. I will say, so my son has become a big Sherlock Holmes fan. Every time we're like thrifting or going to like used bookstores or things, he's always looking for old copies of Sherlock Holmes books and reading them. And he was telling me, he hasn't read this yet, but he was telling me that he really enjoys the fact that all the stories are kind of told through Watson's narration. It's kind of him telling the stories of Sherlock Holmes. And that's not the case for this one. This one is very much a back and forth you hear between Sherlock and Watson, going back and forth through the whole mystery here. Here's him with, again, the motif of his head, on the inside of his head. And then here's the second album. So like I said, it was released originally in 48 pages of one album and then a second one. And I think it was Benoit Dahan. They both Cyril and Benoit have both started following me on Instagram after I showed that I was even going to talk about this book. And they both seem so gracious and wonderful as creators. I think it was Benoit that told me in the comments of my post that they're already working on the next one. It'll be the next 48-page album will be released in French later this year. And then in a couple of years after the next one is released, and they compile 2 more albums together, Titan Comics will put out the second edition of this. So we have a couple of years to wait, but I still cannot wait for that. It'll be exciting. And again, this warrants rereading and revisiting and scoping out different things that you might have missed. So I'll be able to enjoy this for a couple of years while I'm waiting. But just like the panel layouts and everything is so innovative and different. Seeing like the progression of Sherlock Holmes working through this part of the mystery, the hand-to-hand combat with like which skill he's using on the hand-to-hand combat. And I don't want to reveal too much about the mystery itself, because I feel like that part of the experience is, nobody wants a mystery to be spoiled for them. But like, look at this too, like this music, which is still the red thread working on the scales of the music, continuing through, and then you get another picture of the inside of Sherlock's head on what he's thinking about this mystery and what he's going through this entire way. Like, this is just, I can't express enough how immaculate and beautiful this is. I love this too. This is a great scene of the Royal Albert Hall of a show that they're going to, and they even have a zoomed in of like number 1 is over here, like this character. Number 2, so it's listing where each character from the story is sitting in the Royal Albert Hall, so you can kind of picture the importance of where everybody's sitting and things. And there's also innovative things in here too. Oh, here's one right here. So there's like these little notes at some of the bottom of the page. So gently curl the right edge of this page to meet. So see on this part of the story, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Sherlock Holmes is talking about how his mystery, how the thread has snapped right here. But then he connects it back together. So it says gently curl the page, and you gently curl it. And he is it says, instead of here's our thread cut clean, you gently curl it, and here's our thread repaired. So like there's all these kinds of things too. There'll be some things with like lighting. If I can find one, I'll show you. But it also works on this page too. So even though it says repaired right here, it still continues on the story, that you don't miss anything. It's not like it only works on one page. Like just such innovative things like that. Yeah, look at this through the light. So I don't know if this will be going to show up on camera. Yeah, it's not going to show up on camera, but there'll be things like you hold this up to the light and you'll see it through the image of the previous page or the next page. There's a few of those throughout this book as well. There's such innovative ways to use a comic book medium that I've not seen before. And I just absolutely love the story just for that. Like I was taken aback by all of those things my first time reading this, that I want to reread this again to make sure I soak in all the story and just pick up on little things that I might have missed here and there, because there's so much going on every single page. This is a true modern masterpiece, and I am excited that there's going to be another one after this, because I bet that the ideas and things that Cyril and Benoit worked out with this story, they probably have so many more ideas on how to fit this together into another mystery by Sherlock Holmes. Now here's the end where they kind of figure out, and they go through the mystery and how everything ties together. And so you'll have it all kind of spelled out for you too, if you're still kind of caught up in confusion and whatnot. And then there's the end. And then here's the cool end papers on this side. You get all the clues throughout the entire story connected by a thread, and they match the pictures that you saw on the inside as well. This is a truly, truly modern masterpiece. I cannot recommend this enough. This is for fans of European comics, of bande dessinée, for fans of Sherlock Holmes, fans of just a good mystery story, and fans of the comic book medium that like to see it pushed to its limits. Please, please, please check this out. Support Titan Comics, support Cyril Lieron and Benoit Dahan. Again, my utmost recommendation, my stamp of approval for sure is on this book. And everyone, keep talking comics.